In 2011, MoMA wrote us out of the blue that we've been following you guys for a while, and we loved the work that you're doing, and would you consider doing a project with us? So we did. We made Century of the Child with them back then, and went rather well, we think. And so in 2013, they booty called us again, and this time they wanted us to make an exhibition site for the famous surrealist René Magritte, like his breakthrough years, where he really becomes Magritte. They wanted us to create a site that really told the story behind 16 to 25 specific pieces, as well as all the conservation of the works. On the actual exhibition, there was like 120 pieces, I think, or something like that. And so the main challenge was to figure out how we could transfer this world and mood and theme into the digital space. And also how we could make a surreal website without being totally confusing navigation-wise. And for this exhibition site, we wanted to create an avant-garde inspired experience, mixing voiceover and music and trippy transitions to bring this world of the beloved surrealist to his digital life. And the goal with the project was to pay tribute to his contributions and to evoke the spirit and aura around this period, and give the users a real surreal online experience they would remember. So we had some challenges along the way that we needed to give some attention. The first challenge was to capture the mood and the surreal world of Magritte. So I'm just going to show an initial low-key concept animation that laid the ground for both the trippy transitions and the framed look and feel of the whole site.
La poésie écrite est invisible, la poésie peinte a une apparence visible.
This is actually me in Photoshop doing a GIF, I guess.
GIF animation.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, sorry. So the second challenge was to the previous site that we did for MoMA, the Century of the Child, was like all about structuring a lot of content and all that, and this Magritte site is more about working into the depth and talking about the stories and the paintings about around the conservation process. And the third challenge was that we really wanted to give the site a editorial feel, so we could create a more dynamic and inspiring. So to create a more dynamic and inspired design, we strive to work with these full bleed hero images once the user land on the detailed pages. We had some hard discussions with the curator team about this because they really didn't like the idea of us cropping his paintings, but I guess we managed to swing it our way. And the fourth challenge that we had was that we had a shitload of different formats, and this guy clearly didn't understand the word standardization. But I guess today we have some of the same problems with iPhone and iPad and Windows Phone and so on. So it was just with canvases back then, I guess. How we worked around this was to give some frames to the site, so we can kind of control the different formats and paintings, and adding more frames gave us more control and even more control, and the frames also gave us the opportunity to create an environment around the paintings and the mood. and it actually became the kind of the look and feel for the whole site. These frames, and this is just some examples of the 6 main pieces. They have like different formats, but is that Beanie playing?
Somebody's playing Beanie over.
So yeah, this is the different 6 different featured images that we had, and playing within these frames. And the 5th challenge was that we needed to create 2 spans of content control, because MoMA wanted us to bring certain paintings into the spotlight. So we had to create 2 sections, one for the 6 featured paintings and one for the additional work. The additional work section also gave the user an overview of the creation span of Magritte's paintings in this exhibition. You can see that in the left corner, the years that he painted the paintings in. So type, let's talk a little bit about that. A big part of the site design revolved around our typography choices. We found inspiration in some physical journals that Magritte kept himself and also was involved with. And along with some avant-garde publications of that time period, and really looking into how they used the space within the typography and how they organized the typefaces back then. And also this guy, Jan Trichnik-Holst, extremely hard name. His way of doing type treatment was a big inspiration in achieving this avant-garde look and feel, and also the way he worked with big squares of elements and white space really was a big inspiration for us. So this is some typography test that we did for I guess that was for the first presentation. And also this playing around with big headlines and image copy, and doing some tests on body copy and how you're placing the small headlines and stuff like that, and a video player that breaks the grid with big typography, working with indents and different alignments. And so our font choices for this site was Knockout and Chronicle Display by Höfler, Freya and Jones. And we really love Höfler, Freya and Jones, and we've been waiting a while for them to work with their library of fonts online. So we were super excited when they launched their cloud-based service, and we immediately jumped onto that boat, and the choices of Chronicle and Knockout seemed obvious to us, because these 2 types really capture the mood and feeling that we wanted the site to express. And as many of Magritte's paintings, there's a lot to be read between the lines. So we tried to incorporate that into how we did our type treatment on the site, and it kind of came out looking like this. And also having the big headline and having a small one within the lines, and mixing up the Chronicle and Knockout, working with large indents and weird amount of white space. So grid, don't break the grid if you don't know the rules. We wanted to give the detail pages some rhythm while the user scroll down, and that's why we are breaking out of the grid on those pages. And here are this is some early stage miniature sketch of how we thought we could lay out some of the content. And here are is a final page a detail painting. Odd areas of space, giving the page a more avant-garde feel. Breaking the grid, giving the element a more dynamic feel, and leaving the spectator with a more interesting experience of the page scrolling down. And on every detailed page, we had this quote at the bottom, where we also played around with the typeface, and you can hit the play button and it'll play a quote that was read up by
a French guy at our agency.
French guy at our
He actually we have all these microphones from Skyping. He actually just like talked into these microphones in a meeting room in a French, and then we didn't understand any of it, but he just cut it and put a weird effect on it. Yeah. They liked it.
So colors, there was like a lot of different. We had these 26 different pieces that we wanted to build our color palette from. So tonally, these all evokes Magritte's own color choices and complement his works in a great way. So we kind of spent that out on all of these different sub pages or detail pages, and kind of give the whole thing a nice color span to it. Because you can't do anything yourself, we usually look for nice and talented people to work with, and so we turned to this avant-garde composer Niels Lyhne Lykkegaard to help us create a surrealist-inspired soundscape. And so Niels composed one overall sound that you just heard, and 6 unique pieces that were inspired of these 6 main pieces that we had for the site. And we also, to this, we wanted to add a little tech feature, so when the user is panning around the site, the music is shifting within the speakers or the earphones, so it matches the position of the mouse. And here's a couple of those soundscapes that he did.
We hope you're not going to have nightmares.
Oh, hopefully not.
That wasn't a part of it. It might sound.
Till he fell asleep. So these soundscapes really just captured the whole mood that we wanted the site to express, and wrapping this one up with it works on all devices as well. Yeah.
So just a really, really short thing about awards. Obviously, all of us here look at award sites, and we apart from getting the recognition from the award, JB talked a little bit about it. At one point, it starts just being this kind of, we won another award or something. But we actually seriously use awards for something. We use them as a part of our business. So it is truly important to us to win awards. It might sound stressful or wrong or something, but actually it's what built our agency. So we use the amount of care that needs to go into a site that wins award is incredible. So you So if you want to keep being passionate, keep being careful and craft these things well, then you can win awards, and then it gets this upward spiral where it's like you always keep pushing yourself. You don't just do what you did last time. You try to do put something new into each piece of work. And for a small agency like ours with 36 people, it's crucial that it's a way for us to get to be found out there. So it's simply a way for brands and co-workers like future people to find our agency and want to come work with us and or get work from us.
So one thing we need to remember to celebrate those awards.
Oh yeah, we try to. It sounds really arrogant, but sometimes we forget. Oh, was it today? Oh yeah. So no. But it's a part of our the business that we are in, like making good work breeds more good work and new clients. So I'm going to talk about the last of the official love stories. It's what we call the long-term relationship. Of course, a lot of these projects that we showed until now was 1 or 2 or 3 a series of projects for one client, but it's also important sometimes to have work that you can do over a long period of time that you can just keep on building on and learning more and more. So I want to talk to you about B&O Play. It's the little sister of Bang & Olufsen. It's to Bang & Olufsen what by Marc Jacobs is to Marc Jacobs, or DKNY is to Donna Karan. So it's this like the small brand that has a little bit cheaper products, but still has the same DNA as the mother brand. So these are some of the products that we need to feature. So it's like Bang & Olufsen, you probably know, it's like super high-end products. These are still like well-designed products. It's done by a lot of young, fresh designers, but it's just a little bit cheaper in the materials. It's produced in China and Czech Republic instead of in Denmark, and which makes them more accessible to people. But it's amazing products. It's truly amazing products. But it's not like Bang & Olufsen. You would buy a TV for $20,000 or something like that. This is maybe like $5,000 or something like that in that area. So you probably know the kind of brand. So 3 things that goes into there. What they care about is music, design, and freedom. So music, of course, it has to sound great. It's great products. They have engineers that are super geeky, like trousers to up here, like just adjusting sounds on these equipments, and it's amazing to talk with these guys. They have aluminum experts that are like so geeky you can't imagine. So it's just they really care about how this sounds, also how it's designed. They use young, fresh designers to come in and mix up the product palette so it still feels like the same, but it's fresh all the time. And then we work a lot with freedom and mobility. So it has to be products that I don't know where I'm living in 5 years. So I need to take this TV or the sound system with me. I can't drill it into the wall or something like that you would do with a high-end system. On the brand part, it's like a product is always heroes. They're super proud of their products, and that characterizes a lot of our clients like MoMA and NASA and Lego and all these guys. They are super proud of their product. They would die for them. So we need to show them. We're not afraid to show them. It needs to be authentic, though. We don't put some kind of like crazy world around it. We find real people. We tell real people's stories. We find people that it's actually likely that this person would buy a product. You might not have it yet, but that's the kind of real people we want to work with. So no models and no staged homes. That we put the products into. We need it to be aspirational. It needs to be something somebody that I would say, oh, this is a cool dude, even though I didn't know him before. So it's not celebrity endorsements like Lady Gaga. It's more like people like you and me only doing something else that you find interesting. It needs to have this premium feel. It's not cheap products, so you really need to feel like it's well crafted. So that goes for all the material in the production as well. What we actually do when the way we work with them is about content marketing or storytelling is in everything. So as soon as they have a prototype of a product, the same week that they get it in the marketing department, they invite us in and we sit around the table, everybody, including developers and product engineers and marketing people, and we just look at this product. We play music over it, we pour water over it, we shake it, and we do all kinds of weird stuff with it to find out what is this product, who is it for. So we do that in order to find out all these stories, like it's a great story about the design, who designed this, what did she design before this, and it's a great technology endeavor in the product. So these guys were actually some of the first to build in Spotify hardware, into the products. That's a great technology story, if you can tell that. So all these kinds of stories around the features, the user scenarios, users that actually uses the products. So what we help these guys with these days is actually everything. So I just took a lot of the whole media palette of what we're doing for these guys. We actually have the philosophy, do what you're good at. So we do mainly digital products and experiences that are centered around design and user experience. But sometimes it just makes so much sense to do more. And with this brand, we just grew from helping them redesign a website that was already designed, but they were not satisfied with, and then it just grew from there into us being a part of their product photography. We do all these product shots together with their photographer, like finding the right angles to show what the products can do. We do all the the art direction and the casting of the homes. This is real people's homes. This is like a fashion guy from Denmark called Mads Nørgaard. He lives in a houseboat in Copenhagen. So we gather all the stories around the actual, around him and around the surroundings the way he chooses to live his life. This is some other fashion girls actually. This is where they work, their workplace, to show that you can use it in that scenario. So when we use models, we need to use models for something like headphones to show how big are they, how do they look on a person, and to show it's a style accessory. So we use these persons. This is a cultural entrepreneur from Denmark. She has something called Art Rebels, which is super cool. These guys are an electronic duo called Wrangelklotz, or Wrangelklotz for the few Danes down there. Really weird name. And they are super passionate about sound and sound quality, about not compressing the music too much, and all those things that B&O cares about. So we cast these people that has something in common. This guy is a professional ballet dancer, so he lives with music. He lives with training at home, and he always listens to music. He listens to everything from rock and roll to obviously ballet, the music from orchestral music. This is a fashion blogger, and she has a huge reach and a really nice tone that fits really well. She uses music all in her work. She does playlists for her followers and stuff like that. So all these people are real people with real stories. So how do we use all these different assets? This is examples of being proud of the product. So we show the products really up close, even though you can't really see what it actually is. This is in-store displays. The website, we do kind of the same. Maybe you saw the websites already, so we won't go into depth with those, just a little bit. This is how we show tech features. Instead of just listing tech features, we try to illustrate tech features so that not only I can understand what Awwwards is, well, I can't really, but I should be able to understand. But my girlfriend wants to know something else. She wants to know that you can daisy chain the headphones together. It's still features, and that needs to be communicating. This is how we put these ambassadors into play, and on the website, we try to, instead of just taking a pretty picture and writing this electronic duo, we actually do an interview with these people. And we follow them while they work. So we gather their perspective on sound and sound engineering and all this together. And we also always, all the people we work with, we get their playlists simply because it says so much about you, which kind of music you listen to. We want to inspire people to find and discover new music out there. So just a little bit, 3 examples of how we use video content. So you can get a pause from us talking. This is we do behind the scenes videos for several reasons. One, because we found out it's actually interesting for the people out there that are in the target audience. They want to see how the photo shoot is and how a band like this works, because it's aspirational. It's something they aspire to do. And also it's cheap, to be honest. It's not like a big commercial movie. It's just it's a guy with a camera following us on set. So this is an example of that. We use these studios for a lot of different purposes. They run in the stores, actually, on the TVs and for people there. We put them on YouTube, of course, on Facebook, and they live on a blog. And sometimes we use them inside the site. So there's a lot of purposes for videos like this. And the most important for us is that it's authentic. It's something real. It has to do with the product. An example of that is for another product, an in-ear headphone. It's kind of hard to market an in-ear headphone because it's really not that beautiful. It's really small and it's hard to get to display. So we wanted to display the feeling of putting on in-ear headphones when you're in a busy city, in a busy street. So we went on the streets of New York, just a super cheap setup with a sound guy, a video guy, and me with a bunch of interview questions. And it turned into this module of these people that we interviewed and found in the streets of New York. This was a 2-day shoot, and New York is amazing that way. You can go on the street and you can actually meet these people without making one single appointment beforehand. So it was street casting, real people, and we just asked them to talk about music and their relations to wearing headphones and travel in this case. So a small video of that.
I listen to like Swedish House Mafia.
Recently I've been listening to a lot of country, Garth Brooks, stuff like that.
Right now I'm listening more to Mumford & Sons.
Sia, Little Black Sandals.
I like classical music.
I would be listening to Rilo Kiley, Let Me Back In.
On my flight to Paris, I would listen to Drops of Jupiter by Train.
I'm listening to French music.
If I could only listen to one tune, it'd be Miles.
I really like a band called Fish.
Haitian music. It's a mix of Haitian music and Zimbabwe.
Going to Peru, I would listen to Buena Vista Social Club.
It just sounds better. You know, you kind of get into the music a little bit more, especially on the train and in the city. It gets so loud. You kind of just want to block it all out.
I love New York, but the treasure in New York is if you can create a bubble of peace in what is otherwise a kind of hectic city. Yeah, I love it. It's part of the energy, but sometimes you want to create your own little world within it.
I wear them all the time whenever I'm not home and by myself. And also like in airplanes and trains and subways.
Headphones brings you into the world of music, and you know, it kind of drowns out all of the other sounds that are going on in the city.
So this is like talking to the users actually on the streets with headphones. And the last here, I'm gonna skip that. You can see it online. We're a little bit shorter on time, but it's a video showing. We just followed the production line, the actual production line in the Czech Republic factory for a day. We just followed the women there assembling the products and just made a video out of it. Just them slowly and carefully crafting these products. So you can see it online if you want to. Just to show the kind of care that goes into each and every product. It's not like an evil factory or child labor or something like that. It's even though it's not made in Denmark, it's still like carefully crafted. So we also do the printed material for these guys. This is like a premium catalog. This is maybe more interesting. We made a blog for them. They call it the Journal, and on that blog they do all the side stories, like the stories that you can't maybe put in the product sites or in the brochures. But then they it fits perfectly on a blog, and 2 times a year, we take all these stories and put them in a physical newspaper. That newspaper goes into the stores, of course, like mailed to people. And this time it went into wallpaper as well. So that's why how we get the reach with using the same content, the same actual stories that we found out was interesting in the very beginning of the product cycle. So that's super exciting to us that all these stories can be used on different platforms. And if you keep on working with stories, the more you work with stories, the more you keep coming up with the new stories about products. Just a small thing, the icon for the website is actually now laser etched into all the stores and the store displays. So funny ways of using, reusing some of the work that you do digitally. The latest thing that we started to do now is to do the packaging for these guys actually. So this is the packaging line of the products that are in the stores right now. So it started with a flirt. We redesigned a site that was already there. There was no budget, like 0 budget. We did it anyway in 4 weeks, and now we are counting like more than 2 years of doing more and more work for this client. So really short, I can see Stephanie is standing up. Just like 2 minutes, like the last thing we have like a secret love story.
Yeah, so it's totally secret.
No video, no photos.
Video. We need to cut this out. We are in a top secret love story. We are dating an astronaut, and kind of a hard thing with this long distance relationship, but that's why it takes so long to make this site, I guess, maybe. NASA Astrobiologist is a subdivision under NASA. And they have this problem that the public actually don't know what astrobiology is. So they asked us to help them clear that to the wider audience. And we have a little video from a NASA conference where one from the audience were asking NASA about how to explain the importance of what NASA does. So it's here.
My question is...
can you hear that?
I picked up my wife from work the other day, and I was
Can we turn
driving
that
home, us home, and I was explaining to her that I was coming here and explaining to her about the spacecraft that is going to Pluto and will be there in 2015, I believe you said. And she asked me, why are we going to Pluto? As if, why bother? And so I pulled over the car and asked her to get out.
I was going to say, you're still married? You're still married?
Yes, we're still married. We worked it out. It's okay. And so my question is, if you had 30 seconds, like an elevator pitch for space exploration, the importance of it, what it could lead to, just, like you said, we're at a crossroads. We need to vote for the budget for space exploration. What is your 30-second elevator pitch to a politician, an everyday Joe Schmo like myself on the street, of why space exploration is important to everybody, as us as a species?
So that elevator pitch wasn't that good. We're trying to help them out with giving that speech on the website. And this is, we can't show you guys too much of it, but here's a little bit of it. This is the landing page, the viewport hero area. And scrolling down of that, they have these different divisions within astrobiology where they do like a ton of articles that they wanted organized. So we help them with that. And I just missed one here. And we wanted to create like a scientific paper look, present a sense of credibility, why being accessible for a younger audience also, and organizing a lot of content and making it pleasing to look at with all those nice images that NASA have.
It's pretty amazing to have the whole NASA image catalog.
Yeah.
You can just use it. Oh, we don't have to ask anybody? No, it's ours. Okay. It's pretty cool.
So that's pretty amazing, actually. And also this collaboration. The collaboration is important. That the site should be about both the actual content, but also the community about or surrounding the astrobiology things. And also on the site we have there is this big annual report sections that they usually have had on in a PDF, I think, but now they're taking that online, and we help them organize that and worked a lot with the diagrams and infographics and stuff like that, and how we could interact with these different Instagrams. Diagrams.
Diagrams, not
Instagrams. Shit.
I don't know if you can Instagram from space. Maybe.
I think you can. So of course, with a site like this, there is a lot of different content. So we've been designing a lot of different pages, and and we're really excited to show you guys more. But I'll have to wait a little bit. But here's a little trailer for the launch.
Mm. Yeah. For dinner. And thank you to